Thank you all for being here, guests and subs especially. It's always nice to see new faces in the room and new energy. And of course, thank you all to the All-Stars for being here this morning. I want to start with a question. Facebook memes about, eating more kale, having more protein than eating a steak, and relationship advice like you can't love somebody else unless you love yourself first. We're inundated with all kinds of information and advice. But there's one, some of it's good quality and some of it's not very good. Yes, kale technically has more protein than a steak if you eat a wheelbarrow full of it. But that would thin your blood to the point that you would need to go to the hospital. So there's good information out there and not so good information out there. But some good information that I've come across recently by way of a TED Talk looks at health factors, things that affect mortality, our lifespan, our health. And the speaker in this TED Talk says the number one most corrosive thing that damages our health is not smoking. It is not exercise or lack of exercise. It is not diet and nutrition. Those things are important. I'm not saying they're not. But the most corrosive thing that damages our health is loneliness. It's loneliness. And so we see research coming out of Florida, for example, that says that being married, just simply that one variable, being married had a greater impact on mortality in terms of people living longer. Being married had a greater impact on mortality than smoking, diet, and exercise combined. So this is really important. I think relationships are the most important thing that we do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I work with, who my ideal clients are, and if I have time, I'd like to share a case history with you. So there's basically sort of three types of clients I work with in private coaching. Obviously, couples in a crisis. They might have a crisis like infidelity, infertility, a bereavement. Can put a lot of pressure on a relationship, particularly if there were, as is often the case, other frailties in the relationship. So these couples come to me, and you might hear them say something like, one of the partners says to you, as a client that Illa referred to me, I'm done. I'm just done. I don't want to do this anymore, right? And she's talking about her marriage. Illa referred these clients to me. We've been working together for a little while, and these folks are back on track, right? They're both really smart people, kind people, warm people, but they just reached the end of their individual and collective resources. But that doesn't mean that it's over, right? So send them for help. Send them to a rabbi, a shaman, a relationship coach. Send them to somebody to get some help so they can get some other resources on board, okay? Because these numbers, they're pretty scary. And it's a bit surprising, isn't it, that the numbers go up? Is anybody else here surprised by that when you see the numbers go up? We think they might go down? One of the biggest reasons why they go up is because people assume if you change the person, you change the outcome, right? We get sucked into this myth of the one, right? Oh, this person just wasn't right for me, okay? It's a trap, right? Some marriages need to dissolve, it's true, but sometimes they don't. So couples that are in a crisis are one of the biggest sort of markets that I pull from. But also couples who are in a good place and they want to go from good to great. That's our membership committee here at the All-Stars. That's our membership committee's mantra. We want to go from good to great in terms of when we invite in new chapter members. And some people want to do that with their marriage too. And I really, really love all of my clients, but I sometimes get especially excited about working with people like this. Erin Levine recently referred a couple like this to me. I'm having so much fun working with them. Now, these people in this sort of market have done coaching before. They've often done therapy before. They attend Tony Robbins seminars. These are people who, if they're in your network or if they're your clients, these are people who have a track record of making personal development a financial priority. They make personal development a financial priority, okay? Because coaching is something we pay out of pocket for. It's not covered by extended benefits. So that's a really, really great referral for me if you know somebody like that who wants to go from good to great, but also couples who are struggling with a crisis. Lastly, singles. Some people don't know that I work with single people, but that's about 30% of my private coaching business, is when I have people who are single and they're sort of going from relationship to relationship, or they're just on their way out of a relationship. They're trying to figure out what's going on here under the surface. Why can't I make this work? So that's a really common market for me. How much time have we got left? 1 minute. Okay, so quick case study. A couple in Toronto. She's a speech therapist. He is a number cruncher at Deloitte. When I met this couple, he had moved out. He was on a bender. He was blowing through their savings, doing a lot of drugs, drinking with people 10 years younger than him. Obviously, they were in a crisis. Within a month, we had them both in coaching. Within 2 months, we had them back under the same roof. He hadn't moved out. Within 4 months, we had gotten past the crisis and at the root issues underneath. At 6 months, they were taking a celebratory trip to Hawaii together and establishing a new vision for their relationship, including things like going to a financial wealth management seminar in Montreal. We were in Toronto at the time. They recently circled back because they want to up-level again. Now they're a successful couple. They're not in a crisis anymore. They're in that second group of couples. Now they want to up-level because they're planning on having a baby. Okay? And this one chokes me up. When I see those pictures of those babies, man, when I see those pictures of those babies, and I think that kid wouldn't be in the world if these people had broken up. That's why I do what I do.